Hi, glad that you're joining us today on the Jen Somaga Show, a place where we get empowered, we get encouraged, we get inspired. And today in the studios, we are having a guest, and I promise you, you're going to enjoy every minute of the show. So stay tuned and let us have a wonderful time together. So yes, for those of you who are watching for the first time, I want to let you know that our guest is a returning guest. She's been here on the show once, and we are so privileged that she's back. I promised to bring her back, and I'm so happy that we've been able to have her again, and we're going to have a beautiful time, as we said, because there's a lot we're going to enjoy. And I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we'll keep going.
Yeah, thank you, Jane, for having me. My name is Hilda. I'm Mrs. Hilda Nkugwa, and Jane has invited me back for a series that she's been having, the marriage series, and I'm so excited that we're going to talk about a topic that I think needs a lot of discussion.
Yes.
And needs a lot of input from
Yes.
all of us to be able to help the young people out there that are getting into it. Yes.
Yes, so today, wherever you are, we are discussing about marriage issues. You know, marriage is a big deal because the Bible tells us that when God created, He created man and woman, and that was His really initiative. He wanted us to be together. And now when you look at the way marriage is going, it's not the best in most of the areas of our marriages. So that's why we are here. But we're gonna go mostly to Hilda because we want to know your marriage life. I'm bringing you people who are experienced in this thing. So Hilda, we want to know, how did you get up one day and decide this is the guy I'm marrying?
Good question. Let me think. It's a long time ago, Jane. Just for starters, I've been with this guy. His name is Mr. Nkugwa, for 24 years now.
Wow.
24 years we've been together. We've been together 25 years. We've been married 24 years. So it's a long time for a couple to be together in this day and age. The statistics show that I think maybe now it's like 55% of people divorce, and mostly people divorce in their first 5 years, which is not a good statistic. So 25 years, I feel good. I feel good where I am.
That's good.
But your question, how did I meet?
How did you meet? How did you decide? Yes.
How did I decide? Well, okay. I'm trying to make it so short. I met this gentleman at a workplace.
Okay.
Workplace romances are not encouraged, but I guess for me,
you broke the rules.
I broke the rules. So I met him at a workplace. I was born and raised in Uganda, Kampala, and in Kampala I worked at a place called the Sheraton Hotel, and I first went there for an internship for about, I think the internship was a couple months. So I saw this guy. Honestly, the first time I met him, all I could think of, he's like so annoying, very annoying. I'm like,
how?
The only thing, he was a rules person. I'm a break rules person, and he's a rules person. So he tried to keep us so much in line. Me, I was there to intern, get in, get out. I wasn't serious about, when you're 21, 20, who cares? Yeah. So I met this guy. I left the internship, went back to school, and then after the internship, in Uganda, you have to search for a job. I had done catering at that time, so I worked different jobs, but they were not satisfactory. Then I remembered, I did go to the Sheraton for an internship, so I decided to apply again. So I did apply, and luckily I got a job, and lo and behold, they put me in the same department that I had interned in. with this gentleman.
You're annoying guy.
The annoying person that I had seen, you know, a year ago. And when I went back, so I worked for a little bit. I was, like I said, I was still a very young girl. And for some reason, I had friends. I'm a very, very friendly person. So I had many friends in the department, and some of them were, you know, gentlemen, and some of them were women, but mostly the gentlemen, they were very friendly with us as, you know, newbies. So, but then he kind of befriended me, and we became just friends. And I would tell him what these guys are telling me. Some of them were hitting on me. So I would tell him, can you imagine he's hitting on me? And in my brain, I was still very young. Like, I thought, why are they even, you know, I was like kind of not bothered by the dating scene. I hadn't dated in high school. I hadn't dated in college. I think I always thought I was a baby. That's the problem, I think. I'm one of the youngest in my family, so I always thought I was a baby. So yeah, then we met, but as a friend. Then over time, you know, he started hitting on me too.
You're like, now where am I going to go and
I was disappointed.
now?
I'm like, what's this? So, but over time, I kind of fell in love with his kindness. He's a very kind person. I fell in love with his demeanor. He's a very quiet guy. Not very quiet, but he doesn't talk a lot, and I talk a lot. So I think that the opposites attract.
Of
That's
course,
what they say.
yeah.
And then there's one other small thing that's funny that attracted me to him, and he knows about it because I tell him and he laughs. He had very clean hankies.
Oh.
he would take out white hankies.
You're like,
who takes out white hankies out of their pockets?
Yeah.
And then his
in a
hankies
dusty area
in Kampala, and his hankies and his shoes were always polished. That was something that
guys, are you taking notes?
Me.
Are you taking notes?
That's something that impressed me with him. So I don't know. He probably wasn't intentional about the hankies, but I was like, wow, he's so clean. And yeah, so that's how I met my husband.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when does he propose? Like,
Jane.
Yeah.
In our era.
Yeah.
You know, 25 years ago, it's like
those days.
You know, those days. I mean, these guys of these days, they have so many things happening in their relationships that I don't even know how they keep up. There's proposal, there's kuchala, there's and everything is a big deal.
Yes.
In our day, I don't know, maybe other people, but in my time, where I was, it wasn't so much as somebody proposed to you. But all I know is that my husband let his intentions be known to me early enough. Because one time he says, I will marry you. And I said, no, I'm never getting married. Because according to me, in my brain, I was like, I'm going to be a cool auntie. I had nieces and nephews. I'll be that auntie who takes them out for ice cream every Saturday, take them swimming, give them expensive gifts, go home to my house and chill as a single woman. That was my plan. That was my plan. And he was telling me how he's going to marry me. I said, he's even kidding. Me marry you? You're not. You know, I used to just tell him, don't even talk about it, because I'm not. But he told me his intentions, I think maybe early, like 6 months into, you know, me starting to date. Yeah. Meanwhile, before dating him, I did not date for a long time. He was telling me that he cared for me and he loved me, but I told him I don't want to date. And he was very patient. That's all I'm gonna say. He was very patient, and I stood him up several times. I would tell him I'll be there, and he would make plans with me, and I'd stand him up, and I just go to do stuff with my friends. And he told me that so many times. He said, I'm never going to ask this girl out again. But he would ask me out again. And then eventually I gave in. And remember, we worked together. So the days I stood him up, I would go to work late and look the other side. But, you know, it worked out. So, yeah, we would never, you know, will you marry me situation. No.
Okay. No, someone taking you at the beach and then
making a beach and then, you know, no. Maybe I need to make him do that.
Do that again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe propose to me. Thank you for the idea.
The idea is here. Yes. We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
So, well, what a beautiful story. And by the this stick, this kind of relationships kind of stick. You get what I mean? Even when you're saying that there wasn't that you know, flower and, you know, Prince Charming comes
Prince Charming
and
coming on a horse and
yes, sweeps you off your feet.
These things, I used to read novels when I was younger. S2, S3. I used to read Mills and Bourne, Jackie Collins. Was it Jackie Collins? Was that the name? Some novels. But they were so romantic. And my idea in my head, I think that's the reason why I didn't want to get married. Because I'm like, which Ugandan man now is going to do all this stuff? I said, you know what? I give up and give in. I think this is my life. I'm going to be single until I die. So I didn't even date. In high school, I didn't date because in my heart, the person I wanted, I felt like was not available where I lived. So I had given up.
You had given up. Until Mr. Nkugwa came up.
Mr. Nkugwa came along.
And so, you know, like sometimes when we are growing up, there are some things that or experiences that we go through, the people we live with, the married people we look at and admire. What inspired you? What are those things that imprinted in, you know, in your brain, and you said, you know what, I'll stick on to this and get married and make sure marriage works?
Well, like I said, I think the other reason why I didn't want to get married was because of maybe the bad examples I had seen. So I was so negative about being married or getting married because I had what I had seen around me. In my opinion, now there could have been good marriages, I don't know, but in my opinion, they were not impressive to me. They were not ultimate. They didn't look good. It didn't look like marriage was enjoyable. It looked like hard work. It looked like I had to do so many things. And then someone would come along. Once in a while, you have a conversation with maybe someone. They say, oh, in my culture, we have someone called Senga. Oh, Basenga Bagamba, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. I never heard anyone say, the
man does this, yes.
You're the one who's doing.
And you're like,
I got tired before I started. I'm done. I think I'm too tired for this. So I kind of wasn't impressed by what I saw. Now, I think love overcame everything. So I did fall in love with this guy. And I'll tell you one thing, Jane, when I think about it now, I think I have purposed in my life to make the marriage that I want to see, that I want it to be. I want my marriage to be like this. And I have worked towards making that marriage be what I feel marriage should be like. So the examples you asked me that I saw per se around me, I don't think they were impressive. They were good, but they were not what I thought I wanted. And having grown up in a household where there was no father, my father died when I was only 6 years old. So I didn't have that example of a good marriage in the house. Yes. So, and I also was fearful. I didn't know that. I said, now if I get a husband, what am I going to do with them? Like, I didn't know. You know, people used to have their daddies, and I didn't have a daddy. So
even though now they behave around
they
man.
Behave around man. I had brothers, and that was it. I had 5 brothers, but it was kind of foreign to me. Marriage was not something I even purposed in my head to be in. Yeah.
Wow. And now I imagine, did you got married here in the US, or where was your?
That's another story.
Yes, because
I've married this man 3 times. The same man.
3 times the same man. Wow.
You want to hear this?
Yes.
I've married the same man 3 times. That's how determined. That's how God wanted me to see, to make sure I married this man and be married. I think I was just playing around. God said, I'll show you. I'll make this man married 3 times. So, in our culture, in my culture, I come from Uganda. It's called the Baganda culture. In the Baganda culture, there is what they call a traditional marriage. It's traditional wedding. So in 1999, I think when I say 1999, people are going to start dating me.
Don't.
Yeah, don't
please.
date me, please. In 1999, I married this guy traditional. This guy married me, or I took him to my family home, and they accepted him as my husband traditionally in a traditional marriage. So then I started staying with him after that.
Okay.
Then in 2002, I had started living. I started living in America in 2001. In 2002, we went to, in Uganda they called it DC, marriage, I think district commission or something. But here we called it the Justice of the Peace. We went to the Justice of the Peace and got married because we had never gotten married in Uganda, and here they did not recognize us as married.
Yeah.
The traditional marriage is not recognized in the US, in the US of A. So I got married. We went to the Justice of the Peace just so that we can be married and
officially
and be recognized here as married people. So yeah.
Okay.
Then I got married again.
The third time now.
Yes. Now in church.
Okay.
2006.
Okay.
We always wanted to take our wedding back to Kampala.
Yeah.
Because my mother, his father, my siblings, his siblings,
yes.
people that, we cared about here in Uganda. So going even to the Justice of the Peace was like, if we ever get a chance, if we wanted, we didn't even have so many relatives here and friends at that time. So, because he came in here 2000, I was here 2001, 2002, so we didn't have that many friends. So we're like, if we ever want to do a wedding, both of us agreed we would want to do it in Uganda, a church wedding where people, So we're like, if we ever have to do that, let's try and do it in Uganda. And God helped us through that. In 2006, I got married.
Okay,
again.
so you wedded in Uganda, but you've done your marriage here.
Yes.
And I believe the marriage that we grew up, even though you had the other bad experience of what was around you, it was now totally different from what you are seeing here or how marriage runs here.
Yes.
So what do you have to say about how, have you heard of the different people, how they're saying, marriage in diaspora is really hard to work out. There's a lot of divorces going on and all divorce going on and all that. So what do you have to say about it?
Jane, I don't think it's just the diaspora. Marriage as an institution has been attacked by the devil so badly all over the world. I don't think it's just diaspora or Uganda or Australia or whatever. It has been attacked by the devil so badly. I think young people are discouraged because of us, the way married people behave and what we do. So, and I think the difference is, going back to your question, the difference is, I think in Uganda, marriages are more, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they dwell so much on a woman's head somehow, that you have to make it work. As a woman, how can you do that in your marriage? Men, they are given, I think it's a patriarchal society, and it gives a woman such a burden that you have to make it work irrespective of what's going on around you. So the burden is so heavy, I think, for these young girls.
Yes.
And they find out that you're not perfect. There is no way you're going to be able to hold up a whole marriage. A man has to do certain things, a woman has to do certain things, and it's given, you have to give yourself a chance to kind of work it out as a couple.
Yes.
Here in the US, I think what I have experienced is that, first of all, me as Hilda, in the beginning, I think I was kind of skewed towards a lot too much on my independence. Like I was married, but I was an independent woman somehow. And I think that also kind of pushed me in a direction that wasn't good for marriage. So I was my husband, I think, would call it pig-headed. I was kind of pig-headed. But we came to a point whereby, since I was here and no family, he was my only friend, pretty much. So I think that pushed us closer together. And what has happened is that here in the USA, we have to so much you kind of have to be friends in order to work it out.
Yes.
Because first, you don't have a lot of people to run to.
Yes.
You don't have a lot of help.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, when you come home on a day, where I have 4 children. So when my children were younger, you could come home and your kids need you. There's homework, there is food to be eaten, the house is messy, there's laundry, there's dishes. You had just worked, and he's also from work.
Yes.
And he's also tired. What are the chances that you're going to fight about something?
Oh, yeah.
Between 0 and 100, the chance is 99%.
99.9.
Because everything is pushing you towards, fighting, because there's so much. The grace of God also has, I think, you have to pray, my dear. You have to pray a lot. I think that's the period when my kids were younger. That's the period when I learned how to pray. Thankfully, I was in a church, that preached, God, and I understood who God is. And I think I gave myself into prayer a lot. For God to guide me, because there are days when I think I'm going to leave this whole thing, because it was a lot of work, children, housework.
As you're saying, marriage is one writer or author says marriage is a verb. It's a doing word. You don't just you have to let it. It has to work.
Yes.
You do it.
Yeah, it's a doing thing.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, Jen, this period when you're in love, and then you kind of, your husband loves you so much, you love your husband so much, and you have one little baby, and you're hunky dory. That one ends after some time.
Yes.
And then serious things come in. There's bills to pay.
Yes.
Reality we were in the diaspora. We had just come. He was working 2 jobs. I was in school. There's children. There is now responsibilities, maybe back home. So finances are tight. Something is bound to make you fight.
Yes. Yes.
Now, how I got through that period is, like I told you, I learned to pray. And I remember when we had our 3rd child, I think we were working it out, but I think it was difficult. Everything was hard. So that time we didn't have him. I was pregnant with him. We had I think a difficulty. I don't remember exactly what it was, but we fought about something, and it was so hard. I felt tired. I felt like I couldn't do it anymore. But I like my husband.
And sometimes you want to decompress out of it, but there's even no time
nowhere to go
to do it. Yes.
And in Uganda, you'd say, "Let me go out with my friends." Here, we didn't even have. People were busy. People were working.
Yes.
You can't really go out that much. That time, I couldn't. So he came home and he said, "Let's talk about this. What do you want me to say? What do you want to hear from me? And I'll tell you what I want to hear from you."
That's good communication right
so
there.
We sat down and talked about it. And then I told him, "But honey, you also, I feel like I pray and you don't even want to go to church. Can we go to church?" He would come once in a while, he wouldn't. He said, "Going to church is not a problem. So I can start going to church." I said, "Okay." And then I told him, "But I feel like maybe we need something. We need more God in our lives to, help us through this situation." And he said, "I think you're right." So, me and my husband called a pastor. That time, our pastor was called Pastor Katende. I remember I went to the Dunkin' Donuts right next to our house, and we told him, "Pastor, we want to get saved." So me and my husband got saved just before I had my 3rd child. I'm telling you, as God is my witness, we have never gone backward since then. Everything God has put in place, people, situations that have lifted us and that has helped us to, hang on to each other, even in tough times, even in times when things look hard. Is a marriage perfect? No. If someone tells you they have a marriage perfect, take them to, they'll grow a long nose like Pinocchio.
Yes.
They are lying. It's not perfect, but you can make it good.
Yes.
You can make it enjoyable. You can make it something that you both want to be. You both have to work
towards it.
And we agreed that day that let's both work at it. Let's both work. Small things like this shouldn't make us blow out of. I could get annoyed, Jane. I could get annoyed and be annoyed for a whole week.
Okay. Yeah.
And more, I think. maybe I'm just cutting it
Cutting
down
it
because I
down
don't want to
to-
be ashamed.
Yeah.
I would get annoyed for a long time and
From-
silent treatment.
Yes.
Give him
Then
silent
sing some few songs around, maybe.
Thankfully, I didn't
You
know
didn't even know how to
songs.
sing.
Yeah.
Because I've heard someone sings a church song, but
I didn't know those songs.
yeah.
But I
God
would-
is my fighter. He's my
I know. I wish
to
I had
fight
known
this
them then.
battle.
I wish I knew those songs. They would have
Yes.
helped me. But that
Yeah.
fight, I would just silent treatment. I would just switch off. In my talkative way, I would just switch off and just put him out. And then he would put me out and we would just be there as if we are strangers. But those were the times when we are also younger. When you're younger, give yourselves a chance. I want to tell people, give yourselves a chance.
Yes.
Don't give up so fast. When you fight, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's normal. Okay, don't give silent treatment for 2 weeks. That's too much.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's normal to fight.
And
Try
when you're
to
saying,
find a middle
actually, you're just, when you
ground.
said it's okay to fight, but I think it's not okay to abuse. There is fights and abuse. Like,
And when I say fight, I'm
Uh-huh.
not here in America. They use the word fight
yes,
as verbal, fighting,
like, you know,
not hitting. Now that one,
no,
not allowed.
don't
not
misunderstand
allowed,
that.
not allowed.
Yes.
Fight. When I say we're allowed to fight, we're allowed to fight verbally and say, and then also we have to also fight fair. Fight fair. And this, I think, I learned somehow watching my sisters in their marriages. I never had them. I was much younger, and my sisters were married, and I used to live with them. I never had them call their husbands any names or yell at them. So I learned that you don't, yell at my husband, no, or call them a name, no. And then also I had someone say something about don't hit them below the belt, as in tomugambe chintu ekichomanyi kituufu.
Yes.
If you know it's true, maybe you shouldn't.
Something that's gonna leave a scar
Yes.
even after you make up, you know. Yeah.
Don't call him that thing which you know hurts him, or he told you about himself that is a weakness, or you've seen him it's his weakness. No, don't use that. Try your best to talk about what the situation is. Is it about the kids? Is it about money? Is it about family? Talk about those situations. Don't hit below the belt. That's unfair.
Yes.
Because I feel like I haven't hit below the belt. I've never. I try so hard. Yes, we fight about what's even now we have disagreements about stuff, but don't ever. I feel like that's good advice.
Something that you also gonna regret. Why
Yes,
did I say
yes,
this?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a good advice too.
Yes.
And I would really want to know how do you, as we said, diaspora life, or even out there. Because the world has really changed, though people kind of focus so much on diaspora, but as we said, it's the same everywhere. How are you trying to rejuvenate your marriage, even as we are planning to end the show? How do you,
One other
make
thing
sure-
maybe I haven't talked about a little bit before we rejuvenate this marriage.
Yes.
One thing that I just want to say real quick is young couples have to know that the beginning is not going to be the same as the end or the middle. In the beginning, you don't know each other that well. Give each other a chance. And then in the first 5 years, usually they say if you can survive the first 5 years, you survive a long way. But I know people that have gotten divorced, 20 years later.
Later, yes.
But I think give each other a fighting chance, and those disagreements that you have, it's not the end all be all. Be kind to each other. Love has a lot of sacrifice. It has a lot of you understanding that person and his weaknesses, or them understanding you and your weaknesses. And love, I believe, is giving 100. If my husband is giving 80, that's him. I'm going to give him 100.
Yes.
That's what I believe.
That's how
I want to give 100. So one day I will not regret that. Oh, I should have given maybe that 10% that I was holding on. I should have given it. Maybe our marriage would have worked. And when a marriage involves children, the onus is on us parents to keep that marriage going because we want to keep our children in safe places. Very many times we hear children that have had a problem, that have issues because of the parents separating. And sometimes the separation is valid. Yeah, it's called for. I'm not saying people can't divorce. I'm not saying people can't separate. But I'm saying there's stuff that we can work on in a marriage and it works. There is forgiveness.
Yes.
There is love without judgment. There is understanding. There is perseverance.
Yes.
Being able to know that we're in a bad financial situation right now and my husband can't provide this and that, but we'll make it through.
Yes.
And we'll make it through together. And maybe, you know, he's not doing the things that you want him to do exactly the way you want him to do it, but you know, you can help him through that and tell him, honey, this is how I want things. And marriage also involves you know, I don't know how to this is PG-13, right? So marriage involves, you know, there's that sexual
intimacy.
You, as a young couple, you may not know how to deal with that perfectly. So give each other time to learn each other's bodies so that you can help each other to have a good time when you're intimate. That is, you know, it holds you up and it also helps the marriage to stay intact. Some people are shy when they start out. Some people are
too Christian.
Yes.
Some people are too, yes, like,
to know, like, you know, there's a song by, I think, what's her name? Something Ari. But it talks about that, you know, him being, you know, a good husband, a good father. He loves his basketball, but he's you know, whatever when it comes to, you know, he does everything well. So her name is India Ari, but I don't know the title of the song. I'm trying to remember, but it's a good song. It gives me like good vibes about what I want through my marriage. But God has a way of helping you, especially if you open up. People write about, oh, believe in God, He will do for you this. Believe in God, He will do for you that. Believe in God, He will help your marriage. Believe in God, He will give you a good husband. Believe in God, He will give you a good wife. Trust God for that person that He created. I think God created my husband for me because He understands my nuances. He understands the little things. One time He was making for me food and I was going to work and I came down and He said, I made rice and beans, but I know you don't like beans if there is no meat, so I made some barbecue ribs because I like rice and beans, but then I like, so someone starts to understand the small things that you like, and you understand the small things that He likes.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Guys, I know this is a long, beautiful talking that we are doing, and I know some of you are busy, you're going to work, maybe you're tired, you want to rest. I feel that's something we should keep going, you know.
Yeah, talk about
maybe one time I pray that Mr. Nkugwa will be joining us too.
Yes,
we would love to hear the gentleman, the annoying guy, what he has to say.
Not annoying
anymore. Thank God.
That was before. Now.
Yes, he's the best.
That was before. But anyone who has met my husband knows
he's a good man.
He's a good man.
Yeah, he
and
is.
He sometimes I feel like he just loves me to love me, because I wonder, I sometimes feel like, I wonder why this guy loves me like this for all these years.
There's a quote I saw, someone says that marriage is when the two people kind of secretly say, I don't know if he knows like, you know what you're saying?
Yeah.
I wonder if he knows I got him, you know?
Yeah.
So both of you secretly have those beautiful he also has the same, saying, I wonder, this lady knows. That I have her.
But it's amazing. A marriage is good. It's amazing. Be spontaneous. You know, as you grow into marriage, do new things. You can't do something which you did. Now, me who got married in 1999, by this time 2023 you think I'm doing the same thing. You have to be spontaneous, find out what's good and what's out there and use it and make
because you could be doing
that. You know, 1999 is a long time ago.
I know.
So you can't be there doing the
Update
same
yourself.
things. Update yourself, ladies. Update yourself, gentlemen.
Yes.
Life moves on. And be spontaneous.
Yes.
Once in a while, take your guy out. Don't
Yes.
leave him to take you out all the time.
All the time.
Tell him, you know what, honey, I got
somewhere.
Yeah.
We're going tonight.
yeah. So like today,
Yeah.
I got my husband and my son's tickets to go watch the Celtics game, and they're at the Celtics game. He didn't know it was his birthday, and I'm like, Kamba
Let's do it.
Wem, like let me
Yes.
make my husband happy. He hadn't gone for a live game in a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So find out the things that he likes and excite him. But also you have to know that your husband has to be excited about you being around him or him being around you. That excitement, you have to keep the spark going. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Hilda.
Yeah.
Would
thank you,
love you
Jane,
to come again
thank
and
you
again and
so
again.
much. Thank
Yes.
you for having me.
Yes.
Marriage is a good thing.
Yes,
I've
it
enjoyed
is.
it.
Yes.
As we have grown, I've come to love being married. Yes.
Wow. So thank you so much, viewers. Just stay tuned here and we'll bring more of this, of such a kind, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
We
Thank
love you
Jane.
and may God bless.